start it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. With Peardeck, Peardeck is an interactive presentation tool. So if you use Google Slides in your classroom, it's really good with Google Slides. If you use PowerPoint, you can use it with PowerPoint with Keynote. The reason why I like Peardeck is because it takes a presentation that may be stagnant, it may be boring, it may just feel like you're just up here talking to kids and they're not have any idea what you're doing, and it gets them involved with it a little bit. So it's another tool to use. It's not something that I use every day, but I do use it quite frequent as of lately. Why should you use Peardeck in math? The reason why I like it is because you can get feedback without getting kids to raise their hand and answer. So you have those kids who never raise their hand because they don't want to answer in front of the class. So Peardeck is a great way to check their understanding whenever they don't want to answer. And it gets every student involved and engaged. It has a bunch of different possibilities. You can use it for math, you can use it for homeroom, you can use it for anything really. And the way I use it is I mainly use it as bell work and exit tickets, just to get a quick check for understanding as they're walking out, and then we can move forward. And then the other thing is that kids think it's fun because they're doing something different. So that's one of the big reasons is it kind of breaks up the monotony of the everyday lesson. So when kids hear Peardeck, they get a little bit more excited because they know that they'll be playing on their Chromebooks and interacting a little bit. So how do I use it? I use it as a Google Slides add-on. You can go on the website, you can use it through the website, but it's not as useful for what I want to do going to the website. So I like just because I'm more familiar with Google Slides, so I'd rather just use the add-on in Google Slides because I already have a lot of stuff in the Google Slides. So what it does is if you have Google Slides for instruction, you can make any Google slide that you want into an interactive presentation. So you can use all if you've ever used Google Slides before, then you can use all those existing presentations and you can make it more interactive. Like I said, I use it for bell work to spiral the content and also to check for understanding with exit tickets. And it's really good, like it doesn't have to be bell work, doesn't have to be an exit ticket. They have just the slides where it says, tell me how you're feeling, and they can go and just click smiley face or sad face or something like that. So you can kind of get a sense of where everybody's at. And as we go further, I'll kind of show you what the teacher view is and what the student view is, so you can kind of see if this is something that you would want to use more. And then the cool thing about it is Peardeck has made pre-made math templates. So they've made some templates that already have kind of the layout already, and we can go in and put our questions in, put pictures in, and without reinventing the wheel each time. And so I've included a couple of just example templates of what they have. So here's one where it just you can put whatever question is, you can put whatever image is, and students are able to draw on it or do whatever. Here's another one where you can put a story problem, you can put your answers, and as they're answering, they can be drawing, and you're on your screen, and you can kind of see everybody's screen and what they're doing in real time. Yeah.
Are they locked onto this?
Yes. Yes. So, and like I'll talk about in a minute, you can lock their screen completely to where they can't get out of Peardeck. So once they're in Peardeck, they are in it, and it's cool because whenever I move a slide, it moves for them. So there's no kids who are not on the same page as you are. Personally, I don't ever use this because we don't have to graph very much, but I know some of 8th grade, if you guys use Desmos, you can put the problem on here, and the students, I believe, I haven't tested this out, but I'm pretty sure that the Desmos calculator pulls up with the slide already in there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I figured I would add it just. And then something that I like to use a lot, like whenever we do geometry, which one doesn't have a right angle, which one, or for equivalent, which one's not an equivalent fraction. Just a quick check, and you're moving forward. Okay, and then here's we're gonna watch this whole thing, but there are a couple things that are
in this
in this list potential sources of those common misconceptions so that everybody in the class can know. This next one is just really handy for shapes, geometry, from elementary to high school. We can use all these different shapes. This is a drawing type question, so you can just delete all of the other shapes except say the circle if that's what you want to focus on. And then this is editable, so you can put in a radius, say you want students to know something about circumference, and then students can draw on this slide to mark it up and so forth. The next one is a graphing template, so you would enter your problem here, and you can again change any of this text, so you can change the scale as you need. And this would be another drawing response type question. So students would be able to draw, maybe they would plot some points, and they could use the line tool. And then from the teacher end, what's really powerful is that you can use this overlay layout. Right now, I don't know how the students logged in, but that would actually plot all the graphs one on top of one another, and so that would be a really easy, quick way to see if everyone in the class is arriving at the same answer or if they are not. So that overlay layout is wonderful for graphing type questions. The other types of layouts are grid layouts, so you can see each different student's response, and this layout is just one at a time. You would kind of scroll through. But for the graphing problems, to see if there's consensus, it's really powerful to just use this overlaid layout. The next question is just a why question.
So that last slide on the graph, I have used that. I use that one like whenever we're plotting points, because that one's really cool. Actually mentioned you can do the overlay option and you can see everybody's answer. So you can see if someone is plotting in quadrant 1 when it should have been in quadrant 3. And so for me, the overlay response is really good.
Does that display just to you, or then that would everyone?
So you can see it on yours, but you can also put it up there so you can have everybody, yeah. So what I want to do, if you guys don't mind, is I will get you guys Peardeck on your Google Slides, so it's just something that you have in your toolbox going forward. So what you need to do is you can open up a Google Slide, just any Google Slide. It doesn't matter if it has anything on it. You can just do a new one, and then we'll get you set up. So once you get on Google Slides, you're going to click on the top right next to Tools. There's a button that says to get an add-on, and that's what we want is to get add-ons. And I will get out of this just so you kind of. So it's next to Tools, and then it's Add-ons, and then you're going to click Get Add-ons if you don't already have Peardeck. So you have your Add-ons section, and then you're going to click Get Add-ons. Everybody kind of have an idea of where we're at?
Oh, yeah, mine says
Is there a free one?
There's one that says
I think
Peardeck
it's
for Google
probably
Slides, and then it says Peardeck for Peardeck.
Okay.
blocked by.
I only have one.
Since it's not available.
This one.
Yeah, click it, that's the one I clicked. Then over there, see in the right, and it
Where did you click?
Well, I'm guessing
The
the
one that says Peardeck for
administration.
Google. I didn't have you.
All right, so that's a
like
good,
not on your on
yeah,
the school Wi-Fi.
because I downloaded it. Well, obviously I've been using it, but so that's a good technology issue that I can put in my report.
There you go.
So I'm gonna finish this, and then I will send an email to, because it really is cool, and I really do think that it is beneficial. So I'm not sure why.
Yeah, because it's a free add-on.
Yeah, it's a free add-on, and it just goes with Google Slides. So I'm not sure why it would be blocked. So I will look into that and see if. Okay, well, you don't have Peardeck, but if you did, we could look through all the pre-made. So I'll just go through what it looks like when you pull Peardeck up. So whenever you have a Google Slide and you can click, you can get the Google or the Peardeck. It may just. So here's what the Peardeck add-on looks like. And you have your template library, you have featured content, you have different things. So when your Peardeck is ready to go, all you're gonna do is click the present lesson, and I'll go through that in a minute. But the template library is where you're gonna find everything. So it has the beginning of a lessons type, so it sorts it out really well. Like if I want something to come in and do a bell work, I want the beginning of the lesson. If I want the checks, then I want during, and if I want exit tickets, then end of lesson. Then there's more critical thinking pieces, social emotional, and then they have the actual things for math. And so here's kind of some of those that I was showing you. Just different options. And whenever you click on these, let me go back to the ones that I have over here. But it's cool because when you click on it, it automatically puts it in there, and you can go in and customize it. And then down in the slide notes, it tells you how to use it essentially. So it tells you where to customize it, where to put your pictures at, and that sort of thing. Let me see what. Okay, so what type of responses can you have your students use? You can have them answer questions with a number. You can have them create a text box and type a sentence. So if you are wanting them to explain what they're thinking or to give a more in-depth response than just the multiple choice, like all the depth of knowledge stuff that we're trying to include, this is a great way that they can get some typing in as well. You can do the number line, and you can do the graph, and then you can do multiple choice. There is a premium version of of Peardeck. It has some really cool options, but unfortunately those are not available with the free add-on. All right, so whenever the teacher is in the presentation, what do they see? The teacher can lock student screens like we talked about. We can look at every student responses, or you can do the overlay. So when a student joins, you can see by their name. So it's not just a bunch of random blocks. You can see who's saying what. The overlay option is great, and then you can also, kind of like what we talked about, you can put someone's example up here who has it done really well, and that's a great teaching moment. Or you can do, obviously if you get the student to agree, and there's a misconception that you're seeing every student do, and you can just put it all up here and say, okay, this is where we missed, blah, blah, blah. All right, so once you click present lesson, whenever we get this fixed and you guys can get on this, you are going to be given a class code, and that's how students join. So they're going to go to joinpd.com, and they would click this code. Okay, so it's really, if you've ever used Desmo's activities, anybody ever used the Desmo activities? Well, that's a great tool too that you should use. But it's the same thing with Desmo. If you just go to the website and you're able to join in, that's how you can lock their screen once you get in there. All right, so the last thing I want to do is I just kind of want to show you to get you into, hopefully Join PD still works and you guys can all get in. And also I appreciate you guys listening to this, but real quick, I'm going to switch it over to, so here's a Peardeck that I've used with inequalities. And so it's just a normal, like you can still have all your discussion type pieces. You don't have to add the interaction stuff on everything. So it's just whatever slides you want. So once you're ready and the class is ready, you can click present lesson. And the cool thing is that you can save the progress for wherever that class ends. And you can have different presentations based off where you end at. So you can rejoin each class at a different slide just by the presentation. So once you get Peardeck and you're ready to go, it will launch it. And you can upgrade to premium. You don't have to though. Okay, so if you're interested in seeing how this works, go to joinpd.com and this code real quick. I'm not sure when I started, but I'll try to wrap it up in the next couple minutes or not. The letters are red submarines form young muffins. That's something that kids enjoy, those acronyms that the code creates. Then you can give students a link as well if you don't trust them to get through this way. So if you're on Canvas, you can just blast them with a link, and everybody will be able to get on that way as well. Is anybody still?
Loading.
Okay. I don't know who all's getting on and who all's not, so. Anybody else getting on? You're getting on?
I'm on.
Oh, you're
I'm
on.
there.
All right. So we'll start this just real quick and I'll show you what. Okay. So is everybody's screen mine?
Still.
Loading?
I'm there now. Okay.
Okay. See if I can. All right, so you can. So as you go through, it's just a Google slide, has all your teaching points. Then are you able to, so what I can do is I can click show responses down here. I can lock screens. You can also make a new prompt while you're doing this. So if you think of something as you're doing it, I can quickly insert a new slide and be ready to go. So what I can do is show the responses, and I can see that, I can see one response. So this is the overlay feature, so I can kind of see where everybody's at. The overlay feature, you can't see who's who, but you can kind of just get a general sense of, okay, there's some people are struggling, keep going, I understand, and if you have 6th graders, you're gonna see these dots flying all over the screen. And then here is the layout of each person, so I can kind of see who is what, and then let's just go to, so once you get to another section that you want the students to do, I can say, okay, I want you guys to graph these 3 inequalities, and I can look at the responses to see kind of how everybody's doing on graphing. You can so on this one, it's like a paint option. You can use the text box, so you can, on this, when you're drawing your circle, you can color it in, do the arrow, anything like that. And then just for the sake of time, I think I have here's another one that has you guys do it, so they can show their work right here. So you can kind of see on this one, you can see these steps. And like I said, once you're done with this, you can save it, so you don't have to worry about checking everybody right now. You can save it, and then if you want, so if you're using this as an exit ticket, you can go back into this slide later and grade. If you're wanting to grade one of these, and you can just go in and say, and you can grade each student that way as well. And then here's like an example of an exit ticket. I can ask them to get a text box or draw or write or anything like that. All right? All right,